Let's look at the sutta. Today's sutta. Now, this book has got a few things you're already familiar with, so I'm not going to repeat it and be boring to you. So read the first few suttas, especially on giving. There are lots of suttas on giving. First three suttas, 2.1, 2.2, 2.3. This book. On page 3, you get the list of all the suttas, quite a lot. You can see 9, 15, 17, that's the paging. And then brackets 2.1, 2.2, 2.3. 2 means volume 2, 1 is chapter 1. Okay, so 2.1, 2.2, 2.3 you can read by yourself anytime, especially before going to sleep. Now, I can almost guarantee you, if you read Dharma, you do simple loving kindness meditation. Don't do the meditation that makes you active, you energize, you can't sleep. Your loving kindness normally is okay. Simple words, may I be well, may I be happy, may my neighbors be well and happy, and I fall asleep. Or read the sutta book, fall asleep. And then last thing, remember sutta book. Why I tell this? Because of my years of sutta study, I get wonderful dreams. And I don't have to go for retreat, because every time I dream, I go for retreat, so to speak. So this morning, you know who I dreamt of? I dreamt of Ajahn Chah this morning. So we had this wonderful group. There were monks and lay people there. We're studying the Dharma, and then this monk comes to me and of course he talks Dharma. So normally when a monk comes to talk Dharma, we put our palms together. And then what he did was he caught hold of my hand and he put it down and said, "No need to be so formal. Some people, they put their palms together, but their ears are elsewhere. So relax. Your ears must be directed to the Dharma." Very beautiful message. He can be very sharp and what do you call it, very wise in that way to remind you what's important, right? So sometimes the Dharma comes to you. I call it dream Dharma. Okay, of course, these are all our own mind. Okay, don't take your dreams too seriously. Don't go around starting a new religion. Oh, Ajahn Chah came to me. I'm going to start a new religion now. Okay, there was a time in China when dreams played a big role. When they don't understand the nature of dreams hundreds of years ago. So and the emperor is not very friendly. He banned the Vinaya, and those Chinese monks, Chinese Buddhists really suffered a lot. That's why they introduced the Bodhisattva precepts, because they were not allowed to become monks. So what these monks did was they secretly go to the Buddha image. They say, "Oh Buddha, you are my witness. I'm now a monk," and then they become monks that way, right? And then all they practice the Bodhisattva precepts so that they can go further, progress that way. So it was a difficult situation in China. So you have all those strange teachings. But we don't have to follow those teachings anymore, because the conditions are better today. We can go back to the original teachings. There are no hindrances like in China with the emperor, imperial court, and so on. Wherever you have this power structure and they take over Buddhism, you have a lot of problems like this. They define Buddhism. So in the end, you have a different kind of Buddhism. Okay? So this is the real thing. We go back to peace of mind. So we're going to do 2.4, which is a very interesting sutta about 3 things. Okay? 3 things times 10. A lot of numbers here. The suttas, the way the Buddha teaches Dharma is sometimes very amazing. How he combines teachings in different ways. Like some people say 84,000 ways, right? So this is on page 22. Original name of the sutta is Tayo Dharma. Tayo means 3. Dharma means things, 3 things. The sutta on 3 things. Ababa is the first section. Ababa means incapable. Bhabba means capable. So it's just a keyword to identify the sutta. The next thing you do is what? You look at the number, right? What is the sutta number here? Can you look at the sutta number? Second line. Or you can see at the whiteboard. Can you see the sutta number? A 10.76. Okay? So you remember the number or the name? Alright, that's how. Next time you tell me, hey, can you send me this Sutta number, very easy for me to look for it, or the name also can. Okay, the translation starts on page 33. The discourse on the three things regarding incapability. So first half is things you can't do, that makes you incapable. Second half is capability, things that make you capable, happy if you like. Okay, look at the three great evils. Bhikshus, bhikshu means monks. Whenever you see the word monks here, it means whoever is listening, right? Because the monks are the ones who are always there, ready to listen to the Buddha, and they are the ones who record all this teaching for us today, so that the teaching will come down to us intact. Okay? Bhikshus, if three things were not found in the world, the Tathagata, Chinese is Rulai, Tathagata, does come, the Buddha. The Arahat, notice the Buddha also is Arahat, not separate, no? The fully self-awakened one, Sama Sambuddha, would not appear in the world, nor would the Dharma Vinaya be proclaimed by the Tathagata, shine in the world. Or rather, the Dharma Vinaya proclaimed by the Tathagata shine in the world. Look at this again. The Buddha said, if not for these three things, the three great evils, the Buddhas will not arise. What are the three things? What are the three? They are birth, decay or old age, and death. Birth, decay, death. It's because there is birth, there's decay, there is death. Because of that, the Buddhas come to this world to teach us how not to suffer because of these three things. Right? Birth, decay, death causes us suffering. So here you see the teaching is very simple. It comes in sets now. So these are the three things. These are the three basic things. It's like the first noble truth. And then the next section says, if these three things were not found in the world, the Tathagata would not have appeared in the world, nor would the Dharma Vinaya proclaimed by the Tathagata shine in the world. There's no need to have the Dharma if these three things don't exist. But because these three things are found in the world, therefore the Tathagata, the Arahat, the fully self-awakened one, appears in the world, and the Dharma Vinaya, proclaimed by the Tathagata, shines in the world. So the first teaching is very easy. Now, there is a wrong way of, well, I wouldn't say wrong way, say not so effective way of studying, right? Very common, the intellectual way. Some people tell you, oh, this paragraph very easy, you can summarize in one line. Very true. So, in fact, you have a new book now where suttas are summarized. What is the summary of this first whole section? There are birth, decay, and death in the world. That is why the Buddha arose and taught us the Dharma, to overcome these three bad things. That's all. Right? Then why is it framed in this way? Now I want you to imagine this is like a blank sheet music paper, got lines, music paper. And then music paper, you got two columns, the bass and the clef, right? So everything is arranged all like a computer program. All these repetitions are arranged in such a way the people who listen, they will not lose track. Their mind will be fixed in the teaching because they know, okay, this is what the Buddha is going to say. And what is he going to say? Then they remember the new things. In other words, we call what's a template. In other words, if you know computer program, we say template. Same pattern, the words change. Or in songs, in music, we say the chorus. The chorus is the same, but the words change. So what's changing here will be highlighted for you. So the first thing you must remember is birth, decay, death. This is what exists in the world. That's why we need Buddhism. Not because some superhuman being sent the Buddha to us, or whatever. It is because there is suffering. That's another way you can put it. One word, suffering. Three words, birth, decay, death. See? Right? And then the Buddha goes on. Second part, that is section 3. the 3 unwholesome roots. Without giving up the 3 things, bhikshus, one would be unable. Okay, unable is ababa. That's how you get the prefix in the title. Unable to give up the birth, decay, and death. Notice how the teaching is linked. First, Buddha said decay, disease, death. Now, how do you give up decay, disease, death? Second part. But the Buddha liked to use negative language. Okay, if you don't do this, you cannot get rid of the 3 bad things. What are the 3 things? If you have those 3 things, you will also have birth, decay, death. Okay, follow? Okay, those 3 things are section 4. They are greed, hate, and delusion. Sounds familiar, right? Greed, hate, delusion. They're called do you remember what they're called? The 3 poisons. Mahayana called 3 poisons. Or you know, the 3 roots. 3 unwholesome roots, to be exact. Why are they called unwholesome roots? Whenever you break the precept, it is always somehow rooted in greed, in hate, or in delusion. Okay? For example, some people will say, oh, you know, these people, they are very old, they're very sick, you know, we've got to put them to sleep, you know. So it's okay for them to get injection and then switch off the life support, you know. We have no hate, you know. In fact, we are doing it out of compassion. So you might think, oh, no hate, no delusion, no hate, no, but loving kindness is there. You might think like that, but actually, there still is delusion. Because we don't know that life is precious. You don't have to kill someone. You can make the person comfortable, you know, and then the time will come. We just want to have our responsibility. You know, we don't mind taking care of a cat, a dog, and when the cat gets sick, oh, we panic, tell everybody on Facebook, you know. But when our elder is sick, you know, say, oh, when is he going to go, huh? You know, when I was a monk, I was doing some chanting for one relative. So blessing chant is old aunt, you know, very sick. And one of the persons come to me, I think relative come to me and quietly ask me, hey, can you chant something and make her go faster?
Terrible.
Make her go faster. So I turn to her, I say, you know, you don't need me for that. You don't need me for that. I mean, it's a terrible thing to say, you know. I don't think she means bad. She just feels that it's so difficult to take care of someone like that. But if you have love, it's different, you know. I mean, you love pictures. You love your car. But it's a living person, you know. So what's the difference between the car and this person? The person is alive. So you only have a bit of time left to take care of this person. This person is going to live. L-E-A-V-E, live, you know. So, spend a bit of time, all right? Because if you do this, then your children also do the same thing to you next time, right? So, it's something which is not wise, no? So remember, delusion is very tricky. All right, so the Buddha said, if you have greed, hate, and delusion, then it's very difficult to get rid of birth, decay, and death. Now the Buddha comes back to greed, hate, delusion. Let me just quickly say why these 3 are important. Greed is the idea that you look around and say, wow, I don't have this, I don't have that. You look at people, and then when you realize you don't have this, you don't have that, then you want those things. This is called the verb to have, right? There's one psychologist, Eric Fromm, right? He wrote a book, To Have or To Be. I have a cup. If, say, Brother Lo gives me the cup, so I have a cup, you know. Whatever I have to put on the table. And then one day I drop it, it breaks. Whatever you have can be lost. But suppose, you know, I'm so happy he has a Dharma class here, so I feel very happy inside. How, you can't lose that kind of feeling, you know. That's what you are. So if someone is kind to you, you are happy. If you are happy, nobody can take it away. That's the difference. To have and to be. The English verb be changes to is, are, was, were, you know, so to be. You know? So if you are happy, nobody can take it away. If someone gives you something, you can lose it. That's the difference. Right? So greed means you want to have. You want to have. You have to have this, you have to have that. And whatever we have, we may get it. After that we say, hey, oh yeah, that's all. And then you feel not happy again. And then you want some more. Whatever you want, whatever you have is never enough. That's the nature of having. So that's greed. And then when you can't get it, you get fed up. You know, our house is undergoing renovation now, government sponsored. So the whole house is covered up like a prison. Only luckily my study is still available. I can sit there and work. The problem is that our 2 cats, because we don't know running around. In fact, they did mess up. You can see their paws on the cement. So we have 2 boxes for that. We keep them in the box in the daytime. And the big cat, the male cat, usually very friendly, but he got very fed up. We kept in the box. He got very angry, and he cannot show his anger to anyone except to the little cat, the second cat. So always he is and threatened to bite the other cat because he's boxed up. So we always look for someone to bully. We look for something to blame when we're not happy. And the best people to tell us about all this is the fortune teller. You tell her, oh, this is what's wrong, that is what's wrong. Well, Buddha says that's the way things are. Maybe it's your karma. Maybe it's the present conditions. These are the 2 things. Not everything is karma. Some things are because of karma. Some things are because of present conditions. Both work together. That means you can change things. So if you say, I cannot change, that's delusion. Things can be changed. It can be difficult, but you keep on trying. Or maybe you want it a certain way, but it doesn't happen, then you get frustrated. But there are many ways to change. There was a time when I was practicing Mahayana, and everything is Kuan Yin, So one day, I was long ago, 20 years ago, I think. I was staying in Damansara in Selangor, and we had a house vihara. I had to go across the road, quite a big road to the other side to get something. Suddenly, heavy rain, and I couldn't get back to the house. I said, oh dear, how is it? I have to get back to the house, the phone rings, so on, I'm alone there. So what do? We are taught to call Kuan Yin's help. Oh, Kuan Yin, please stop the rain, I want to cross the road. All the mantras, etc. The rain fell heavier. I said, oh dear, no faith, not enough faith maybe. And then just stand there and wait, And then a car came along,
Then you.
Yeah, the car came along, and then the screen go down, and then the head pop out and said, one day, he said, you want to cross over? He said, I can take you over, I can bring you over. So just nice. I went into the car, and then I went across, went back to my house, into the house vihara, and I said, oh, that's interesting. I did my chanting, it actually worked, Then I realized how selfish I was. Prayer is very selfish, Oh, Kuan Yin, this person is going to cross the road now. Stop the rain, totally, whole sky, no rain, okay? Because I want to walk across the road. One person only, We think Kuan Yin is so foolish. Well, of course, if you're Mahayana, I say, well, he sent you a car, Okay? And I think like you like the story. So my point is, that's what Buddha said, you pray, it doesn't work. Just be patient and wait, okay? Something like that, right?
But so, you pray wholeheartedly, you get it.
I don't know. Yeah, sure. Go ahead and do it, and something good will happen. Definitely, that I totally agree. Yeah. Okay, so then we're talking about delusion, right? So greed, hate, delusion. Now, so you can already know the pattern now. In second 5, then you have 3 factors. So the Buddha said, now you must get rid of 3 things in order to get rid of the greed, hate, delusion. You notice the sequence, very interesting. This is called concatenation method in programming, section 5. Without giving up 3 things, bhikshus, one would be unable to give up greed, hate, delusion. What are the 3? They are personality view, spiritual doubt, attachment to rituals and vows. Without giving up these three things, pictures, one would not be able to give up greed, hate, and delusion. Okay, so you go step by step, like dependent arising. So now you want, how do you get rid of greed, hate, delusion? You must first identify personality view, or sometimes translated as self-identity view, Sakaya Ditti, spiritual doubt or simply doubt, Vicikicca, attachment to rituals and vows, Silapata Paramasa, attachment to rituals and vows. Now these three things, if you break them, become 3 minutes, by the way. Why did the Buddha list these three? These are called the three fetters. Personality view is the idea that, this is my body. You know, nowadays you ask some people, especially young people, when they smoke, you say, hey, you don't smoke, it's bad for your health, and it affects other people too. And sometimes they're very clever, they reply, they say, why should you care, this is my body. Of course, a Buddhist teacher will say, no, it's not your body. No, my answer to them, I say, you think it's your body, if you collapse here, I have to get rid of it. So it is your body is my body too. I have to clear this mess, right? So we live in a society, right? So the idea that this is my body, that is wrong. This is Sakaya Ditti, personality view. Or some scholars will say, it's my mind, that's me. Then there are the 5 aggregates. Remember, form, feeling, perception, formation, consciousness. The Buddha say, anyone who thinks that I am me, they will think of one of these 5. You can't escape it. Everything is contained here. It's one of these you will think is me. But where is it? There's nothing there, no essence. Everything is changing, becoming other, and it's impermanent. Number 2, doubt. We have doubt because we don't learn, we don't have knowledge, we don't have wisdom. Today you are getting some knowledge, maybe some wisdom. Knowledge means, you know what these 3 things are. That's knowledge. There are a lot of people with knowledge. Every Sunday you hear people giving talks. You learn, you get a lot of things, knowledge. But wisdom is you know how to use these teachings. Or you know how to give these teachings so that you make people happy. Very simple rule to follow. I follow what's called the truth beauty rule. When you talk to people, tell them the truth and make it beautiful. In other words, tell them what is true, that will help them. That's the bitter pill. And then give them something sweet to swallow it down. Just like our mothers when we were young, remember? When we were sick, my mother will... There'll be 2 things now. One is really terrible, bitter Chinese medicine, and then this nice sweet thing. So you look at the sweet thing, you drink the bitter thing. So you know how to present the Dharma, truth and beauty. So doubt is... Why is doubt bad? You start meditating, your mind becomes peaceful, you start thinking, what did the Buddha teach? How many factors are there? 8 paths. What is number 7? So your doubts, let go of all the doubts, right? But if you study the Dharma, then you have less doubts or no doubts. You have faith. Faith also gives you a sense of brightness, a sense of radiance, happiness. So doubt is cleared away through learning and listening. Because in the Buddha's time, someone who's learned is someone who hears a lot. Today we say read a lot, well read. But Buddha's time it says well heard. Okay? The last one, attachment to rituals and vows. This one is a bit tricky, The Buddha didn't say rituals and vows, it's attachment to rituals and vows. When we bow down before the Buddha image, it's a ritual because the statue image is not the Buddha. It's just some imagination we have. We say, okay, let's make this represent the Buddha. We bow down 3 times. We do a lot of symbolic actions. So it's important that we know what we are doing. Bowing down 3 times is knowledge. But when you bow down, you say, okay, 3 times. First time I bow down to the Buddha, so wonderful. I know that's the Buddha. Second time I bow down to the Dharma, it's still available, I can practice it. Third time I bow down to the Sangha of Arahats and great saints because they have been good examples to me. So that is your wisdom. You know why you bow down. Or you can say, I bow down first with my body and practice the first three precepts. Now I bow down second time with my speech, I practice the 4th precept. And now I bow down with the 3rd time, I practice the 5th precept, body, speech and mind. So you reflect. That means your body, speech and mind are all involved when you bow down 3 times. Then it is not a mere ritual. But suppose one day you're a bit worried, not happy, and then you forgot you bow down 2 times only. And then you don't feel bad about it. You say, oh dear, Buddha is going to throw me into Avicii, no such thing. So don't let all this, that means ignorance is taking over, right? So if you didn't do something, a ritual you've done before, it's not proper, no, that's fine, no problem. That's why we recite 3 times, right? That's why we keep on reciting. That's why we learn the Dharma, to remind ourselves. That's why you keep the precepts, because you keep breaking them. That's why you got to keep them. I mean, if you don't break the precept, the Buddha doesn't have to give the precepts. Not logical, right? So the Buddha gave us 5 precepts. Why? Because there are 5 things we often take for granted and we often break. So when it happens, then what do? We don't just go to the Buddha statue and say, oh Buddha, please forgive me when somebody died, and then you say, please forgive me. We reflect, we say, oh, I did something wrong today. Why did I do this? Or if I kept the place clean, then these creatures won't come. See, if the creatures don't come, you have to kill them. Like that, you reflect. Then you become more clean, And then you arrange. So in other words, you use your wisdom and correct the environment. You don't let the environment control you. Then you break the precepts. Something like that. I can't give perfect answer here. You got to work it out yourself. All right. So these are some reflections on these 3 things. All right. Okay, now you know the pattern already. Then the Buddha says, 7. Without giving up 3 things, bhikshus, one would be unable to give up personality views, spiritual doubt, and attachment to rituals and vows. What are the 3? So, if you can't get rid of the 3 fetters, what must you work on next? So that you can break the 3 fetters. Section 8. They are unwise attention, following the wrong way, mental sluggishness. Notice everything 3, 3, 3, huh? Okay, so if you find this is difficult, then you go down one more step. 3 more teachings to follow. Unwise attention, that means you direct your mind to the wrong image, wrong way. Okay, but what is wise attention? Wise attention means you think of impermanence. If you get angry, you say, oh, this is anger, it's not good, I'm letting go of it. That's wise attention. If you feel sad, depressed, you say, this is impermanent, it will go away. You don't think much about it. That's wise attention. Okay? What about good things? You have something good, you say, oh, this is wonderful, I wish it won't go away. It can't. You say, this is wonderful, I know it won't last long, but I'm going to enjoy it while I can. Like that. That's wise attention. Okay? So people we love, we all have shelf life, we all forget that. Huh? That's why it's very important we are nice and kind to each other when we are alive. We have this strange behavior. When someone dies, wow, we show so much emotion and do elaborate things, and we don't really treat this poor person well when he was alive. If you treat the person really well as alive, and you give a simple funeral, that's really good. You don't really have to bother too much about when the person has passed away. Right? You're doing it for yourself after that. All right? So, wise attention means reflecting on impermanence. Unwise attention means you do not value or understand nature of impermanence. You want something to go on as if that is possible. You can't. Right? So that's unwise attention. unwise attention also means attending with greed, with hate, with delusion. That is unwise attention. Sometimes we don't like someone because the person is really terrible. You keep thinking about this person, you start wishing all the terrible things, right? That's not wise because we are hurting ourselves. So we just show loving kindness to push. It's a thought. We're pushing the thought away to clear our minds. Okay? Why let a negative person live inside you? Right? It's terrible. Then this person is controlling you, right? We don't want that. We say, go away. Let go, let go. What do you let go of? You let go of this nasty person. Or rather, the memory of this nasty person. They won't trouble you. Following the wrong way. See, the Pali word is kummagga. Magga is the path. Kummagga is the ku, just not good. It means wrong way. Following the wrong way. There are many ways nowadays, all kinds of Buddhism. You follow the wrong Buddhism, you got yourself in a lot of trouble. I tell you, in my life as a counselor, I've gone through so much pain, these people suffering because of wrong way in Buddhism, so much problems. So don't go the wrong way. Buddhism is very free, and freedom has a cost if you're not careful. You make the wrong choice, you're in serious trouble. And do not mistake the messenger for the message. Do not mistake the label for the soup. Nowadays we all collect labels, we collect the advertisement, we forget the real thing, Now we say, wow, this teacher very good, why? You always make me laugh. Jokes are good. Do you see the Buddha joking? Well, he does have a lot of humor. Humor is very subtle, So, and sometimes we like a teacher because why? The teacher looks like someone we loved before. We often fall in love with a teacher, Women tend to fall in love with monks, Especially lonely women. For monks are available. This happened to me when I was in Thailand. I was like 20 years old, and I have a young novice with me to assist me. So one day, this pretty young Thai girl, that time I can't speak Thai very well, she came and offered dana. I said, this is wonderful, we don't have to go arms round today, we get this nice offering. I was so happy, and I told the novice, it's wonderful. The novice was giggling. I said, why are you giggling? I said, oh, she's proposing to you. I said, what? We said, well, this is a Thai thing, If you're young, you're under 40, and this young girl keeps coming to you, you're making friends, you get nice food, you become friends, That's up to you. If you're still under 40, you decide to disrobe, get married, you have a wife. And this lady thinks that you're available because you're keeping the precepts, so you're okay, you're not running around, So I said, wow. So I said, how do I get out of that situation? I said, well, you got to think of a way of not accepting the offering. So I had to, lunchtime to go somewhere else. So when she comes, she said, I'm not there. Then she got the gentle message. So you see, these are things we got to see what's going on and understand. See? So you fall in love with the Dharma, not with the person. Okay? I'm telling you because it's a real problem. We have women who fall in love with the monks and their marriage suffer. They have divorced their husbands. This is serious, And why can't both see the monk, both go to the Dharma, and both work happily together for the Dharma? Alright? So, don't follow the wrong way. Follow the Eightfold Path. You can walk together on the Eightfold Path also. Number 3 is mental sluggishness. This one is basically laziness. Sometimes it can be helped, I see some you drink coffee, some tea, you want to, keep awake. That's wonderful. In fact, it is said that Chinese tea was discovered rather, this is just a legend, by, do you know who? Bodhidharma. You heard of Bodhidharma is an Indian teacher who came to China, supposed to have started Zen, He didn't say anything, but people say a lot of things for him. So there are many stories about him, beautiful stories, amazing stories, and these are legends, so whether they're true or not is not important, is the meaning of the story. Apparently he's presented as an ideal meditator. This Bodhidharma, Chinese is Tamo, In fact, he's so famous, you have a Tamo doll, Daruma doll. when I was a kid, I can still remember this doll. It's an upright doll. You push it down, always goes up. Push it down, always goes up. Remember the doll? Right? Yeah, Putawong. You know that doll means meditation. It's a beautiful doll, you know. A beautiful reminder. So whenever you go down, you come up again to meditate. Don't give up. You go down, you come up again. Okay? So that's the meditation doll. Okay? It represents Bodhidharma. And the Japanese love this doll. They draw him with the big eyes that you keep awake in meditation. So the story goes that Bodhidharma was meditating, he's very serious, and then he fell asleep. Now it's a little bit extreme. So he got so angry with himself, which is not very good. He tore out his eyelids, which is really bad. Yeah, he tore off his eyelids so that he don't close his eyelids. Can you imagine? This is what the story goes. That's why you see the drawing of Bodhidharma, he's got big eyes, you know, so that he doesn't fall asleep. But remember, these are mythical stories. You're not supposed to take them literally. It means you overcome your sluggishness. Anyway, the story goes further. He got so angry, he pulled out tear off his eyelids. You know, you begin to wonder. I'm sure he bleeds. You know, doesn't have plaster. He got paste over his eyes and all these things. You know, so he threw the eyelids on the floor, on the ground rather, on the earth. That's how the tea bushes came up from the eyelids. And that's why in China, in Korea, they drink tea, which is Dharma's eyelids, you know. And then they freshen up. In Korea, you drink hot tea and you meditate very well. So this is a culture with Buddhism. Beautiful stories, you know, right? So these are stories to remind you to keep awake, to stay upright. If you are sleepy, half open your eyes, look down, or look at a bright space in front of you. There are 8 pieces of advice the Buddha gave to Moggallana in the Paccala Sutta, how to keep fresh and awake, including doing walking meditation, for example. So if you get sleepy easily, that's very wise. Drink coffee, sit upright, do walking meditation, things like that. So find out how to keep awake. Of course, as I said before, you must respect yourself. If you're really tired, meditation will make you feel tired and you need to rest. If the meditation is done, you need rest, so you have to rest. So you fall asleep and then you wake up fresh. Oh, very nice, then you can meditate better. Even the Buddha did that. The Buddha took the middle way. Alright? So remember the middle way. So mental sluggishness means we feel a little sleepy or tired, then find out what's causing it and then work from there. Do you notice it gets kind of easier to practice as you progress, right? Okay, so if you cannot get rid of these 3 things, unwise attention, following the wrong way, and mental sluggishness, what 3 things must you practice? Okay, number 9. Without giving up 3 things, bhikshus, one would be unable to give up unwise attention, following the wrong way, and mental sluggishness. What are the 3? They are unmindfulness, lack of full awareness, a distracted mind. Okay, in simple terms, be mindful. Okay, here the Buddha breaks out into 3 parts. Unmindfulness, that means you think of the wrong things. Lack of full awareness, you are not fully focused on the meditation object or whatever. The object here refers simply, for example, like now is the lesson here. Okay. And then distracted mind is your mind, go here, go there, like that. So this is training your mind to be more focused. Of course, there are different training here, you know. I remember those days when I was much younger, 20, 30 years ago, we had camps for a lot of these young people. We taught them patience, you know. So once we got lots of toothpicks, you know. So we gave one group one little small box of toothpicks. And then we divide up, each of them got like 20 or 30 toothpicks, you know, and they're supposed to pick up one by one, one, and then said, may I be well and happy, 2, may I be well and happy, one by one. At first I thought it's fun, and after you reach 10, you say, what is this? So you keep on doing that so that you are patient, you know, and many of them were not. Then after that, we talk about it, and that's how they learn to be patient, right? Okay, So if you find you can't do that, then you go further down, 3 more things to practice. Now you know all the other words, so I'll go straight to number 12. 3 things to practice, which is easier, or to avoid in this case. They are lack of desire to see the noble ones, lack of desire to listen to the noble Dharma, and then the 3, a fault-finding mind. So these 3 things, if you overcome them. Now, the second part of the sutta is just the opposite, so I'm saving time combining them. So, opposite of this is, you must have desire to see the great teachers if you can. Now, noble ones refer to the arahats of the Buddha's time. You got no arahats today, where they are, but we don't know where they are. So, look for good teachers, talk to them, Imagine good teachers are not persons, but moments you spend with a teacher. If you go to the teacher, you ask the teacher Dharma questions, that is a good teacher, you are a good follower. But if you, like this monk, you say, hey, come, I take you to Resort World, or you give this monk expensive Rolex watch, then you have encouraged this person to be a bad monk. It's your fault also, right? So you have a choice to make good monks or bad monks or nuns. So remember, a good teacher is not a person, it's a moment you spend with the teacher. You could be a bad monk, but you go up to ask him Dharma question and you realize, wow, I better practice. Right? So you want to see good teachers. Of course, in this case, nowadays it can be monk, can be lay person. So good teachers, you go there, ask them Dharma questions. Some of these temples I go to, I get goosebumps, because after all the chanting is over, what you hear them talking in the kitchen, they talk about going to Genting Highlands and racing and all these things. Yeah, I said, what is this? You come to temple once a week on Sunday, you talk about this in this holy place. So it's sort of strange, right? So I'm happy to hear that. See you all looking very disapproving. So this is where they totally get things wrong.
How do you learn from that?
Exactly, right? So number 2, like to listen to the Dharma, right? So you meet all this monk, you must listen. That's what they are for. Listen to the Dharma, right? Because if you don't listen to the Dharma, you get less and less chance to hear the Dharma. And then as we grow older, it's harder for us to listen to Dharma. When there's a Dharma, you can't hear well also. So don't wait until, right? In fact, there are a lot of suttas. The one sutta says, why it's better to practice Dharma when you're young. Another sutta, why it's difficult to practice Dharma when you're old. But you'll be surprised, there are also old people who are really good at practicing the Dharma. But here the Buddha is telling those who are young, don't wait, don't blame, make fun of old people. Say, oh, Buddhism is only for old people. It will be too late for you when you have problems. That's the meaning. Okay, so then the last, number 3 is a fault-finding mind. Right? Sometimes it's normal, we always want to find something wrong with people, but then we should ask ourselves, why? Now I'm working on a very interesting essay. The title is The Miraculous Life of Gautama Buddha. I thought I have to write about his whole life. Thankfully, I don't have to. I did research. I found I only have to talk about the time he's into Sutta heaven until just before the awakening. That first part of his life as a bodhisattva, full of miracles, amazing miracles. And some of the modern people can't believe them anymore, right? In fact, I'm surprised. Somebody even wrote a book and say, "Oh, these things are not possible." Analyze, "Oh, this is not true. I don't believe this." So that's fault finding. I don't think that's the way to treat sutta stories or even commentary stories. For example, the story goes that the bodhisattva leaves to Sutta heaven and then comes down. There's a dream, Maya dreams of the elephant goes to the right side, and then Queen Maya keeps the baby for exactly 10 full months, and the baby is like full shape, like a 6-month boy in the stomach, and then is born standing, mother standing, child standing, and then the moment baby is born, the baby walks 7 steps and then put up the hand and say Aguhamas Milo Kasa and so on, you know. Say, all this how to believe, you know. This is what I'm writing about in this essay. I thought maybe 20 pages, now it's become 40 pages, you know. It's going to be about 70 pages, that's the prediction, what I think. Because there's so much to talk about, different stages, the events. Because I told myself, my principle is, I say, when the suttas tell us this, it sounds amazing. When the commentaries tell us this, it sounds amazing. There must be a reason. Why do these suttas tell us all these amazing things? Simple answer, Buddha's time, there's no television. Now you get my point now? You understand my, right? Entertainment. To attract the distracted, easily distracted audience. And the Indians expect this kind of stories. You tell them normal thing, no. That's why the Indian gurus are very clever, you know. They go there, you know, Ananda can chant, wow, a few thousand words in a second, you know, very fast, right? So, I mean, okay, this is a hyperbole, right? So, these Indian gurus will talk amazing Dharma, you know, not necessarily a Buddhist. Then a devotee, Indian devotee will say, "Whoa, you know, this guru is wonderful. You should come and listen to him. You know, you can't understand a word he says." All right. Now this is because to them it doesn't matter what the guru says. Important thing he can say it, and he looks holy. He got beard. Not that's why the Buddha says, "Shave your hair, shave your beard." Okay? Because to the Indian faithful, is darshana, is you see the guru, that's wonderful. But the Buddha said, no, that's not enough. You must see the Dharma, satya dasana, seeing the truth, not the person. Again, remember, see the person is personality view. It is the self-identity view, right? See the Dharma. All right, so you got to see, don't have this fault-finding mind. So I told myself, there must be a reason why the Buddha tell all these stories, commentary tell all these stories. So I explain all this section by section, story by story, even word for word sometimes. And that's why I told myself, wow, this is amazing. Now I must admit to you, when I finished volume 51, I'm so happy. Then I look at 52. I look at the first one, I said, essay. I said, oh no, it's back to school, another essay to write. The first thought in my mind was, cancel the essay, just put another sutta. I can easily do that, you know. Nobody is going to tell me, not definitely, you don't know what I'm doing at that time, you know. So I said, no, if I change that, a lot of work, I have to change a lot of other cross-references, you know. Because there's a reason why I put the title there, because I have cross-referred it elsewhere. So I told myself, never mind, just read up what's available. And from there, slowly the ideas begin to form. I plan my work. The computer is very easy to plan your work, you know. Then I said, oh, that's interesting. Actually, we can say quite a lot of things about this particular topic. And it could start growing. Instead of 20 pages, it became now. I predicted, wow, there's so much that I can write. The best of my ability. Imagine your brain cells all converting into these little words on the computer. It was amazing, you know, and you get 70 pages, you know. You try and go back, write me 10-page sutta reflection. Not easy, you know. It's even difficult for me. But so I tell myself, this is how the Dharma guides us. When you love the Dharma loves you back, something like that. And when I was speaking. All right, so do not underestimate the Dharma in that sense. Yeah? Do not find fault with the Dharma. Okay, so then, even if you find this difficult, what's the next one that you can do? 13, right? You get rid of restlessness, get rid of lack of restraint, get rid of immorality. So now become even more basic. Restlessness. Here basically is like, you can say, you learn to calm the body, you learn to calm the mind. Restraint is like keeping the precepts. That means don't do this, you know. But Singaporeans, in a sense, are very restrained people. If they find a wallet on somewhere, they're very restrained. They're not going to take home and take out the money and then throw it or the rest of the wallet away. They will dutifully take that and hand it to the police. That's one example of restraint. Recently, you find a lot of people in Hollywood getting into trouble. All this sexual harassment, because they were not restrained, right? So there you are. So there's a cost if you're not restrained. Restraint means you tell yourself, I should not do this because I will feel bad about it, or the world will blame me. This is called hiri otapa, moral shame, moral fear. Moral shame means you tell yourself, if I do this, then people will look down on me. I should not do this. Or you say, if I do this, then there is karma. It will. People may not know it, but it will come back to me. Right? So then you are restrained. And then immorality means breaking the precepts. Right? So these are the things you practice. It's much easier. You compare this. Overcome restlessness, overcome lack of restraint, overcome immorality. And you go back, look at number 1 again. Birth, decay, death. Wow. Birth, decay, death, very difficult concept, right? And this is much easier. So Buddha says, start here. Start with a simple practice. Even if that is difficult. Okay, now you have brackets A, section 16. So what do? Here, overcome lack of faith, unfriendliness, and laziness. Even easier now, isn't it? These 3 things prevent us from knowing the next 3 things, and that prevents us from knowing 3 more things, and so on. Go back. But if you practice faith, friendliness, and industry, then it will also make you restful, restrained, and more moral, and so it goes like that. So sometimes, some Buddhists have wrong idea. Oh, we should not have faith. Why? Because the God believers use the word faith. I was raised in that kind of Buddhism, It's called Protestant Buddhism from Sri Lanka. Because the Sri Lankans had a lot of problems with the Christians. They were ruled by all these British people, and they converted many of the Sinhalese people. So some of them became very worried, and then they did a lot of things to strengthen Buddhism, which is good. But at the same time, they became very influenced by Protestantism, meaning don't be superstitious, or whatever you study in Buddhism, forget the legends, just the practical stuff, be pragmatic, So don't use words the Christian use. Wow, you end up with very difficult, Don't use faith. Even the word evil also, some scholars say you should not use the word bad. I'm trying, but it's not easy, So I come up with a different solution. I say, well, why should we let the Christians define our lives? Just because they use those words doesn't mean they own those words. We can redefine the words. It's called Humpty Dumpty's rule. Humpty Dumpty rule, it comes from Alice in Wonderland. Okay, beautiful story. Alice meets Humpty Dumpty, and Humpty Dumpty started talking things. He started saying words the way he wants it, until it's senseless to Alice. Alice couldn't understand. She got very irritated. She said, how can you use this word in any way you like? I don't understand what you're talking. Then Humpty Dumpty says, I use the words the way I like it. So if you don't understand, it's too bad for you. So that's called the Humpty Dumpty rule. In fact, we all follow Humpty Dumpty's rule. Whatever we say is how we define the words ourselves. We do that, So I remember when I was in the university, professors will always tell us, the good professor says, define your terms. And being kind to others in this life itself, attaining at least stream winning. With the same token, by the power of the 3 jewels, let us send out our loving kindness to our loved ones, those who have been kind and supportive of us. Those who are practicing the Dharma, may they too be well and happy, and find Dharma realization in this life itself. And finally, by the power of the 3 jewels, may those who have difficulties, those who have lost their way, to find their way back to the noble path in this life itself. May all beings be well and happy. Sadhu, sadhu, sadhu.